Laura up under somebody's dress.
We want to like, since we don't have video now, if we can kind of like hug our mics.
Yeah. So that we can
So
hear each
maybe
other.
our sound at
before we
least will
start.
make up for the fact that we're not doing video anymore.
Any,
I'm not doing video anymore.
do you need a drink? There's pumpkin muffins.
Oh, I have.
Okay.
I got some water. Thank you.
All right.
Oh man, the muffins are good.
Aren't they good?
Did Lily Kate make
A little
them?
ASMR in the
Then I
beginning of
have
the
to have
podcast.
Yeah.
Lily Kate make
You definitely have to.
her stuff. She brought me one of those cookies at camp. Oh my.
I like those those ASMR videos
Which one was it?
when they're
Salted
like
top.
cleaning and they have like
Oh,
quick
the 2-day
chops, like,
cookies. They
or, like-
literally take 2 days to make.
I'm like,
All those
oh.
videos make me want to punch a baby.
The girl can bake.
Like,
ASMR videos?
I
Yeah,
don't like
all of the
food
ASMR
noises.
videos,
I don't
they
like
like-
that, but
like the
Oh,
lip smacking.
Yeah,
and
I don't
the,
like that.
Like I'm opening and closing like pop top lids.
I can't take repetitive noise to start with.
Yeah,
and then
I
you
think
want
that's
to
what it is.
amplify it.
Yeah, they'll
nothing
have like, they
relaxing
have
from being a
whole
teacher.
videos of it, like of somebody just like
with their
with their nails on a microphone.
Tapping pencils on the desk at school. I'm like, stop it!
I know. I'm just gonna jump out of my skin.
Yeah.
I like the pencils.
I
Or,
can
relate.
yeah, that makes
Anyway.
it hard.
So, welcome to the Drama Mamas.
Welcome.
This
Are you
is
already
Kristen.
recording?
Yeah, I hit
Oh.
record a while ago.
We just started.
Oh, okay.
But we want to hear the end of this story. I'm Angela.
And I'm Kathy.
And today we have...
Oh, I'm Stephen Jones. Yes. Yeah. mhm. I am.
It's like every podcast we're not going to tell you that we're going to
Right.
introduce you that way. We're
gonna surprise
We
you.
catch a lot of
Surprise.
people like that. It's pretty
Yeah.
funny.
We
do,
Oh,
yeah.
that's me. Yes.
Oh.
Who am I?
I'm here.
What is my name?
So you were telling us a story of your wife's dress getting fixed.
My
No,
daughter's.
no,
Oh, it's
It was
Jordyn's.
Jordan's
I thought it was
dress.
Tracy's.
No, it was Jordan's dress. Yes.
Oh, no.
We went to the Patel Conservatory to see Janiyah that you've had on, and she was doing Pippin. And we got out of the car and we're walking across the street to the theater, and Laura said, Jordyn, your dress is ripped. And so Jordyn reached behind. She had like ruffles along the bottom, and one of the seams had not been sewn correctly. It was a brand new dress. But Laura, as Laura is, had mic tape in her purse.
Of course she
and
did.
so she went up under Jordan's
Always
dress.
prepared.
yeah. And Mike taped her dress together for the rest of the
Nice.
night. So yeah, we were just on a street downtown Tampa, right there. People going by.
Hey,
Yeah, nothing
like
to see
live
here,
theater.
folks.
Yeah.
No.
Just
Just
fixing
move
a
along.
dress. It's
Just move
fine.
along.
exactly. And it totally did the trick, did it not? Yeah,
It
for the
held
whole
together
night.
for the night. Yeah.
There you go.
So she was putting on the one today, and I said, "You better check those ruffles because it's the same style dress."
Yeah.
And sure enough, there was a hole. So,
Really?
Yeah,
Oh,
brand new
no.
tag still on it. So.
Oh,
So,
Belk,
my
you
wife
need
was-
to clean
my
up
wife
your
was fixing
act.
that one with
Real thing.
yeah, needle and thread this time. No mic tape.
No, my.
That stuff
gonna
is
do it
resilient,
right.
though. I find it
is.
all the time.
And it stays stuck on your face
Yes.
for days.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it
Lands
does.
on the floor, on shoes. It hangs around.
It does.
I was using like alcohol wipes to try and get like the stuff off.
No, you need adhesive
Yeah.
remover.
There's actual...
Oh, really? Like Goo Gone, but in wipe form?
Yes.
Yeah, like safe for the face.
Yeah.
The goal is not to burn off the layer of
Ooh, look
skin.
at that.
I know the people
Fancy
can't see
schmancy.
it, but
That's a Shirley Dimple,
Stella
right?
just totally made me.
I know. You
I
gotta
know.
know.
We should have
Dimple.
been not
Pumpkin
doing video all
cupcake.
along.
There's lunch being made
It's
in the
gonna taste
background. You
delicious.
hear like noises.
Yeah, but it sounds like it's going to be an amazing wrap.
Shout out to Stella.
Peppers. I
Delicious.
forget what else she said.
Cucumber, buffalo.
Oh, yeah, she
Protein
said
wrap.
some kind of barbecue something, right? You say
Buffalo
barbecue flavor?
sauce.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, see if we had a video, you could show it. Lily Kate is very much into food preparation, food display, whereas I will just grab a bar
Well, it's a
and
good
eat
thing
it.
because you're going to have to cook all your food with all the allergy sensitivity stuff.
Okay,
Good to
goodbye.
become a cook then.
Enjoy.
All right.
This is delicious, by the way.
It is. It is very good.
I'm gonna have to get me one, and I can because
A
we're
Lily
so
Kate?
not on
Oh,
video.
oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
That
need
is so
I need a
good.
Lily Kate to come bake for us.
You know she has a business.
Yes.
You can order something.
Yes. Every day.
Gluten-free.
Yeah, gluten free. But it's been good.
They're so.
Delish.
Oh,
And these
yes.
are pumpkin, correct?
They are.
Correct.
They're
We.
very-
I have a thing.
It's pumpkin time in August.
Well, is it? That's the thing. Like,
Isn't it? Yeah,
Isn't it a
for
bit
real.
much? I mean, I went into Hobby Lobby the other day and it was Christmas everywhere.
Oh my
Well,
God, that's way
craft
too
stores are
soon.
different.
That's way too soon.
So they have to have all the supplies so that people can make the goods with the supplies that they get at Hobby Lobby and Michael's and Joann's.
I guess that's true.
To sell, and because they have to have time to prep and make their good, and then they have to go to the fairs and sell their goods, and then those goods are used in the holiday. So you have to have time. That's all. You just have to have time.
Does a quarter of your store need to be Christmas at that point?
Listen, I'm not making those decisions. I'm just saying.
The question is, when does the Christmas stuff actually go like on clearance for those types of folks?
I don't know.
Like, will it be
When Easter
right
comes up.
before?
Yeah.
No,
Valentine's
I
Day,
feel like
Valentine's
it's
Day.
going to be before like Thanksgiving because won't that particular
At Hobby
season
Lobby
be gone
and
at
Michael's and Joann's and all of those guys, like, yeah, they'll have the other like there'll be Valentine's stuff, but their next big one that you'll see with all of the stuff, just like you see for Christmas, is Easter.
Yeah, well, that's obnoxious. But
Yeah.
I let her make pumpkin muffins against my better judgment that it's too early.
These
for
are
pumpkin.
delicious.
Look, Starbucks
Yeah, they
just started their fall ones
Yeah.
this week.
Pumpkin lattes.
Yeah.
Duncan had already had theirs for like a week.
They did. I had a friend of mine. She drove. She doesn't have one like super close to her house, so she took her daughter specifically to go get a pumpkin type coffee, and they drove all the way there, and they were out of it.
Oh my gosh.
Can you imagine?
That's horrible.
It's ridiculous.
I mean, I could have called
It's
that.
Duncan. Hey, how about last night? Gabby and I left the theater. We went and had dinner. On the way back, I had gotten her ice cream at dinner. So I called over. I was like, PJ, do you guys want some dessert? You know, I feel bad not arriving with something for Max or whatever. And they're like, yeah, sure, I'll take something. Okay, what do you want? Oh, PJ's like, I'll just take a vanilla sundae from McDonald's. And, you know, Max is like, oh, I'll take a vanilla shake. Okay, perfect. Or Oreo McFlurry, something like that. Anyway, we pull into the one right over there on 98 by Grove Park. I get in there. The line is ridiculous. I only think because it's a Saturday night. I guess everybody is getting McDonald's. We finally get up. It's our turn. I go to order. Wouldn't you guess?
The
Ice
machine's down.
No products. I'm
Every
like,
time.
are you kidding me?
Like put a sign out there somewhere
seriously.
so you don't sit in
Exactly.
line.
Yeah, don't
That's
make
what
me
I'm
sit
saying.
in line
Right.
before I find out that
And
horrible
then
information.
now you're like in the line, so I can't hop the curb, you know? No, my car is not going to do
No.
that. So I was like, that's not going to work. So we got stuck in that line for like an additional 20 minutes.
Oh my
And I got up to the cash and I was like, hey, I'm the ice cream person who you didn't have any for. He's like, oh, yeah, keep going. I'm like, I will.
I would love
shit.
to. 20 minutes
Trying.
ago, I would love to go.
Yeah, so then I call the house again, and I'm like, PJ, you know, unfortunately, they didn't have any. He's like, oh, figures, you know. I said, what else is there? He's like, well, there's a Burger King right down there in Edgewood. See if they have ice cream. Okay, go
Oh,
to the
no.
Burger King. Nope. She says to me, well, everything's a little soft right now. I'm waiting for it to get hard. I'm like, so you don't have anything? She's like, no, it's the machine.
Oh
I'm
my
like, you
gosh.
got to be kidding. So now I got Gabby in the front seat who's like, I just want to go home. And I'm like, no, we have got to bring
No.
ice cream.
At
Now
this
I'm
point,
on a mission.
We are on a mission.
DQ,
Well, we didn't go that far.
Culver's.
I know, right? So we got on Edgewood, and I said, how about, I'm thinking in my brain, what is down here? What is down here? I said, what about Arby's? Does Arby's have
Oh,
ice cream
gosh.
or whatever?
Probably smells like meat.
It probably does.
Bacon flavored.
I'm not eating it, so.
Yeah, no, it could be good.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
anyway, so he's like, sure. So anyway, I said, Gabby, do me a favor. In the middle of your, whatever it is you're watching on your phone, can you please Google and see if Arby's has ice cream? Sure enough, they do. So we go to Arby's, no line. They're super happy, like, to take care of us.
They had
Sure.
business.
Yeah. They were.
They're
We
like,
ordered-
woo, we get to actually use the ice cream machine.
Yeah, I ordered a small vanilla shake or whatever for Max. Ironically, my phone rings and it's him. It's Max. I'm like, what are you doing? He's like, hey, you're at Arby's. I'm like,
Oh my gosh.
I'm like,
Tracking
I am
you?
at Arby's. We have that Life
Oh, yeah.
360 or whatever. So I'm sure he was watching, thinking, where's
my
Mom?
ice cream?
Yeah, exactly. He's like, Daddy wants a Jamocha shake. I'm like, oh, first of all, how does Daddy even know that they sell Jamocha shakes
It
here?
was already Googled.
Or has already had one, perhaps.
Oh, yeah,
but
maybe.
anyway, who
PJ's
cares?
Cover's been blown.
Yes,
Yes, that's
exactly.
right.
So I'm like, okay. So I pull up to the window. I'm like, hey, can I add a Jamocha shake to that? He's like, sure. And the kind gentleman gave me the straws. I go to give him my debit card. He hands me the vanilla shake. I'm handing him my debit card. He hands me the Jamocha shake. He's like, nope, it's all good. Don't worry about it. I was like, are you serious? Yeah. So 35, 40 minutes.
Wendy's, you know?
Uh-huh. I know. So anyway, long story longer, we ended up getting ice
Finally
cream
got
for
your ice
everybody.
cream.
It tasted great, and it was for free. So
Nice.
there we are.
Wow.
Yeah.
Score.
So-
We were
meat flavored ice cream.
driven
Yeah.
to where you needed
I-
to be to get free ice cream. that day.
Apparently, I spent it in
Thanks,
gas.
universe.
Uh-huh. Yeah. So
All
anyway,
right. Well, it didn't take us long to get off track, did it?
no, we totally just squirreled.
Did we
That's
have a
okay.
track?
No, there's no track.
I know the three of you. There's usually no track. It's more like one of those hamster wheels. You know?
Yeah.
There's no
Uh-huh.
track.
You just gotta keep up.
But it's like
That's right.
lumpy. It's not a circle. It's kind of like
True.
It is.
oblong.
It is a little oblong.
Yeah.
It squeaks a lot.
It does. We're a little squeaky,
All right.
Squeaker over
but
there.
it's fun.
Yeah, that's right. Squeaky D or something like that.
Squeaker.
Squeaker.
Yeah.
That's another story for another time.
Yeah. I get that question every time people see my email.
Mm-hmm.
It's like it's literally just been my email forever.
Can we squirrel again real quick and talk about the weather? Are you guys following
The hurricanes?
Idalia or
Yeah,
Adalia? I don't know what
Said
they're
this
gonna call
morning
her.
that- Is that the one that's in the Yucatan coming
Yeah.
up?
Yeah.
They said that one's just going to go up to like the Big Bend of Florida now.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Keep
I've
an
heard
eye,
that-
though.
I've heard that before.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, until it's past us, and even then, you still have to wait till it's like
Well,
gone.
so this is the thing, guys. The 11 o'clock models just came out. It is ticking a little bit more east, so we will see. But with Ian, this is how South Florida felt, right? Like Fort Myers, they were all like, "Oh, it's going to be north of us. It's not going to do anything." Well, the stronger it gets, it's going to
Well,
it could
once
pull
it hits a
east.
certain point, right? Like they become their own steering mechanism. Like they go where they want,
Well, that's always
They're
the
not-
bottom line.
steered by as easily by like the highs and lows that come
Yep.
down.
And it's large. It's like 500 miles across. So if it lands to the north of
Chris
us,
pulled it up.
we will possibly
Oh,
see.
that's definitely different than what they said this morning. Okay.
So we could possibly, even if
I
it
know.
comes
Do I have
north of
glasses
us, we're on that messy side
Yeah, there you go. She can
instead of
see
coming
that one.
east. Yeah.
Yeah, we're
So
on the dirty side.
Yeah.
we are on the dirty side.
Wait,
so we
so I'm
just need to,
confused. Which side is this? The worst side?
The north.
the right
Northeast.
side.
Okay.
The right side. So when it comes in below us,
But we're all
Above
going to be
us, we're
here,
not
right?
bad.
We're going to swim in the pool while the hurricane's
Absolutely.
happening.
Hurricane party.
Okay.
At 100%. Everyone listening is invited.
These things always freak me out.
we'll just give him Steven's address.
He's got a big house.
Storms freak me out. I
pool.
get so nervous.
Do
And,
you?
Like, yeah.
Why? You've lived here forever.
My whole life. Yeah, my whole life. But I watched this model.
Which one
Like,
is that?
This is Mike's weather page. Shout
That's
out.
who I
Oh,
follow.
yeah. He's on TikTok, too.
He
Yeah.
is.
Yeah.
And
And-
X, whatever X is. He said, don't do 3 X's. Just do the 1 X.
I don't watch anything unless
It's a
Alex just
platform, I
tells
guess,
me.
apparently. I don't
Oh,
know.
I don't know.
Yeah, it must be new. I don't know.
About the
Oh, no,
same
3
to me.
X's? What are we doing here?
No, he said, don't look at the
Don't
3
do the
X's.
3 X's.
Oh, right. 'Cause that'll
you're
take you
looking
down
Like
for
I
the
the
hit
weather
that,
page.
but no, I didn't. So the X, like singular X is like some kind of social media platform.
Apparently. That's what
Oh
he
yeah,
said.
no. Oh.
Yeah.
Oh right, because they rebranded it to that.
Oh,
stupid
is it?
name.
I didn't know that. So it's
I
no longer a
forgot.
bird.
I forgot.
It's just X. Okay.
Come on,
Anyway,
I count on you for this kind of
I love that you
Listen,
listen to
I-
Mike's weather
I
page.
keep up with it
That's
all.
the only one I watch. And Dennis Phillips.
Yes.
At some
Only
point, I'm
Dennis
gonna age
Phillips.
out.
Everybody else will freak you out, but Dennis Phillips is.
Did you listen to his thing?
Thanks.
Well, so he
Yeah.
did one at 9:19, and he'll be back on at 6 o'clock tonight. So, listeners, if you like weather, Mike's weather page is the place to be
Yeah.
1X.
with
It
one
will,
X
at least
on
for
AKA
hurricanes.
Yeah.
previous tweeter.
he
Yeah.
mentioned something about.
Tweeter.
Tweeter.
I watched one of his like TikTok things about the storm, and he was saying that there's like a full moon or whatever, so the tides are actually higher. on a
Blue
full
moon. Yeah, it's a blue
Yeah.
moon.
But I don't know if that's still in line with where it's forecasting because it's slowed down. That storm has slowed down.
I haven't watched.
Which is sad, which is bad because it's just going to get bigger if it slows down.
Yeah.
Right? More time over water.
Yeah,
Anyway,
I don't
But
know.
We don't want to hype it. Just be prepared, guys. Make sure everything is
Go
good.
buy some
and-
water now.
Yeah, but don't buy all the
If you
water.
drive an EV or drive an EV, then you should probably go charge it.
Plug it in. Can you plug it in like in my garage, or is it a certain kind of plug?
We have like an adapter in the trunk that the car came with, so you can do that.
Okay.
Yeah,
So
Into
for the
just like a
hurricane
regular
party, you
outlet?
can plug your car in.
yeah, you can just plug it in. But we have a charger at our apartment
Right.
complex, so we just use that. But yeah,
Okay. Well,
That's super cool.
let's talk about
Still
you.
freaks me out.
an EV,
Huh?
the EVs do
Oh no.
No, hurricanes.
hurricanes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not and really, I think it started in 2004
Oh, well, we got pummeled.
when we had
Oh, one after the
Charlie
other.
and Francis
Yeah,
and
we lived in
Ivan and
Davenport.
Gene O'Mine, yeah.
They all just kind of
Yeah,
went right over
it,
us.
It was just too much.
Yeah.
And then we went a long time without anything until Irma. And what is it with these I name storms? You know,
That's what they were
Irish and
saying.
Irma and Ian, and now Idalia. I think this one's going
It's
to be.
because
named.
they
Yes.
like, that's just where we're getting now before storms really matter. We're naming them too early. And then they build to like big
do.
strengths. I mean, how many have we
Yeah.
had that got like, they should have been over a 5 in the last decade? We've had quite a few that got real big like that.
Well, Irma and Ian were.
Yes.
Yeah.
And the scary part about it, like how Mike was saying, is that they were all 3 days out. They were only tropical storm. Like they were.
Right. They grew fast. Yes.
All right, now I'm
Yes.
getting nervous.
No, don't be. You'll be fine.
Yeah, it'll be fine.
When we moved here, we built our house. We came from Fort Lauderdale, where everybody has hurricane everything. So we asked to have hurricane windows put in. And the guy literally laughed at us and was like, nobody gets hurricane windows here. And then one after another, we've been hit
Yeah.
with hurricanes that have come, literally the eyes come over our house. I'm like, darn it, I'm waiting for a cow to come flying in the window one day.
Gun
We have
twister.
a lot of them in our backyard.
So did you end up getting the hurricane windows or no?
because he laughed at us.
Oh.
Peer pressure.
But you would have put that on this house.
Excuse me?
You would have put that on this house,
Yeah,
you're saying.
absolutely.
Okay.
All
Like
the-
the ones that just roll up or like the old
No, not
the
shutters.
70s?
The windows. The
Okay.
hurricane windows.
Oh, like I
Yeah.
get what you're saying.
Like a
Yeah.
nice big thick.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you don't build a
Well.
house in Fort Lauderdale without those.
Sure, because you're right on the ocean.
Yeah.
You know, that's the bad news. Well, we're hoping, and let's pray that everybody's fine. Maybe the kids will get a little day off school. I don't know what that's going to look like. We shall see. Sometimes they even close Polk County because they use our schools as shelters.
Yeah, if it's coming into
it's
Tampa or
wind,
something,
isn't
there
it?
might
Because the
would.
buses, they can't
Yes.
run the buses.
It's like 40
Yes.
or 45 miles.
With
They
the
can't run
wind.
the buses. That's why schools get closed too.
And the scary, like timing wise, if it's going to be overnight, that's always not fun.
It's almost always like, have we had one that actually hit during the day?
I think Ian did last year.
No,
No, that was
No.
overnight.
Oh, it was
listening
overnight.
to my roof flying.
Yes, that was.
There goes another one.
I feel
that
like
was
it
us in 2004.
started during the day
Ours
because
was
we were
about
out
that.
playing Monopoly out on our screened-in lanai with the kiddos as like stuff was going by. But yeah,
It did.
because it was slow, right? That was a slower
Yes.
It
storm.
was, yeah.
My mom
yeah.
lives down the street, and we waited like 5 minutes too late to go get her, to bring her here to stay with us, and the wind had picked up significantly. We almost
Yeah.
couldn't get her in the
Well,
house.
you got to be
'cause she's
careful.
So little.
Like, there's not a lot to blow around out here. You know, when they do these developments, they just kind of pummel the land. So you're starting as just houses and signs. But you know, the last couple that we had wrote out, you know, in the neighborhood next to yours, we had signs like stop signs and stuff. We had one that landed in our yard.
Oh man,
And we're like, what do you do with it?
could have impaled somebody.
Yeah, we hung it in the garage.
Scary.
you didn't give it back.
They'll buy a new one. It's fine. Yeah, no, it's better for them to buy a new one.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hey, it's what our taxes do, right?
So, as a teacher, do
His
you,
cousin had one of those like highway signs. Not your cousin, your nephew had one of those highway signs, and it said, "Oh gosh, which?"
I don't know, it's like John Young Parkway or something.
Yeah.
But I don't think his fell off in a hurricane. I mean,
Oh, my bad. I thought that's what he
knowing
said.
Knowing my cousin, that might be what he's telling people.
Oh no.
Right. But and they hung that in their garage. He was huge.
my
They're a lot bigger than you think they are.
Yeah.
That's what she said.
Items appear closer.
oh geez, now we're going there. Triple X. Let's talk about you.
Yeah. Welcome, Stephen.
Starting a new podcast?
Yeah,
We already got a true crime broadcast.
No.
I'm the first one on this podcast, the new one.
Surprise!
It's just because we feel so comfortable with him.
Yeah.
True.
Yeah,
Very
it's
true.
just like a regular lunch.
Well, okay. So the last time we kind of sat around and chatted with Steven, we were at the joinery, and this was before the podcast
Yeah.
started. And you were like just
I
sitting
was
back and
observing
listening to
you.
this. Yes. And you said,
Probably a similar
y'all should
conversation.
start a podcast.
So it's your
I did.
fault.
It
I
is
did.
your fault.
Okay,
I mean,
take
we
all
had
the blame.
toyed around with it, like, you know, sitting around talking, but never were going to do it. And then you suggested it, and I was like, why shouldn't we? Let's just do
Yeah.
it.
What are we waiting for? Yeah.
Well, I mean, you three are just, I mean, you're fantastic. You're fantastic individually, and then when you're together, you're just a force.
Much like a hurricane.
much like a
Grow and build.
Yeah,
I like that.
The longer we're together.
it is.
We're a Cat 5, people.
Yeah.
And
Six.
all your families are wonderful. Your kids are wonderful, and you support my kids. So I mean, that it's just Just a
You're
big
sweet.
happy family,
is.
happy drama family.
It really
We
is.
are. That's so true.
The theater is our family.
Yeah.
And that's why we wanted to do this, to help other people find that.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
It's a great place. It's like, and it's like my second home.
Well, okay, so how long have you been involved in theater? Like ever since you were young, or did this happen with Jordyn?
Yeah. Well, I was thinking about that earlier. I don't remember a time when I didn't sing. I've been singing my whole life, and whether it was in church or in school, I was a sickly kid, so I couldn't do athletics. So I basically studied and did music, and so I was in all the high school things. And my first time on stage, I played George Gibbs in Our Town, my senior year of high school. So I guess that's when I caught the bug.
Okay.
But then didn't do anything for several years. And then we went to church when it was Highland Park Church of the Nazarene during the 90s. And the music director there, he did big shows for Easter and Christmas. So I got involved in those and was in those, but not really cantatas. I mean, he had full-scale productions there in Highland
Nice.
Park.
Oh, yeah,
And
that sounds-
I wrote a couple plays that were done at the church. And then Jordyn was cast in Chicago when LCT did Chicago, and then she was going away for school. And she said, "Dad, you should get involved at LCT." We had been at LCT. We'd taken the kids to see a couple shows when it was Pied Pipers even. And she's like, "You should get involved. You should audition and do it." And I'm like, yeah, right. And so the show that was coming up to audition for was Les Mis. And I'm like, oh, of all things to start with,
Wow.
let's just start with Les Mis.
Dive right
Yeah,
in.
it's a nice beginner
But I
show.
went, yeah, exactly.
Not.
I went ahead and auditioned, and there were over 100 people who auditioned for Les Mis. I thought, what have I gotten myself into? But Alan Reynolds, who you've had on, was the director of that show, and he cast me in the ensemble. I played about 8 or 9 different people, in Les Mis. Sometimes you're a poor person, sometimes you're a rich person, and sometimes you're the guy under the cart. That's what I was, the guy under the cart. So that I am coming up on my decade anniversary, I guess it is, because that was October of 2013, so
Oh, wow.
10
so 10
years.
years.
Wow.
And on my theater resume, which I think you've had somebody on the show discuss how you should have a resume for the theater when you go for auditions and stuff. I keep it updated every once in a while. And I counted that Margaritaville was my 24th show in
wow.
10 years.
That's
so
a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
so, yeah, it's like I said, it's my second home. It's like if I haven't been at home, then I was at LCT. So
Yeah.
That's a lot
That's
with a
great.
full-time teaching job.
Yeah.
yes, it is. I mean, and some of those are the stage reads, which I absolutely love. Right?
Yeah. Orson
Yes.
Shadow
Great,
is really, really
great
good.
stage
Yes.
manager that I've had my past 2 shows over here to my right. You can't see her, but yeah.
Yeah. Probably no videos.
I
Yes.
like the stage reads because it's a short process and you get to use the script. You don't have to
Yeah.
memorize. And I
Yeah.
notice as I'm getting older, it's harder to memorize all this stuff. So, and you get to be characters that you would normally never be or, take some risks as an actor. And so I really enjoyed them. Got to do that with PJ. That was fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
He had a great time with you. He
It
was
was-
excited.
it
to
was,
get
it was
to
a
do
great
that.
show.
It was a
I mean,
great
when you
show.
have forces like Grant Reynolds and Tom Nook that you're acting opposite of, I mean, they pull it out of you. They
Yeah.
really do. So it was a great experience.
Yeah.
So
Grant really was Orson Welles.
he really was.
Was he really?
Yeah.
It's like that, what do they call it? Study of the character.
Like method
Oh,
acting.
method
yes,
acting.
yes.
Yeah.
I lost it for a minute.
I got you.
Yeah.
Have you had formal voice training?
No.
Does Jordyn try to fix
Oh
you?
yes, I was going to say that. you nailed that one. I never took any formal. Didn't have that, in high school way back in the black and white TV era that I was in high school. They really didn't have that like the kids get from Harrison or anything like that. So I didn't have any formal training. But every once in a while, Jordyn will fix something. She hears me singing, or like Frida. Frida was the music director for Mamma Mia, and she helped me for a couple things, I had to reach an A, and it had been a long time since I had to hit an A, which was really high. So she helped me do that. So, you know, nothing really formal, just people wanting to give their opinion. So, and when it's your daughter, I mean, she was actually worse as a choreographer than a vocal coach, yeah. Because, you know, I really can't dance, and I know that. I like to move, and I like to be silly and sell it from the waist up because the legs don't want to cooperate.
Understand.
So when she's my choreographer for Shrek, she was a little tougher on me for that than vocally, so.
Oh my gosh, you can't dance, and yet your picture in that jumpsuit is
The Mamma
main
Mia one.
page of
Oh, it is
Lakeland
the
Community
best.
Yeah, my banana suit, I called that,
Yes.
yeah.
Every time I open that, it makes me smile.
I was like, why can we update that, please? I mean, I don't know how many people have told me, oh, I went to LCT's website and we saw you. And I'm like, yeah, I know.
Yes, you did.
I know. That was one of my favorite shows. Playing Sam was on a bucket list of mine, so that was a really great experience, that show. Loved Mamma Mia a lot.
Yes, that was an amazing show.
Yeah. It's hard
Lot
to
of fun.
believe it was like 2 summers
Two.
ago.
Summers,
Yeah,
I
2 years
know.
ago.
Man,
Yeah.
it goes quickly.
Yeah.
So you said you wrote some some plays for,
Yes.
for the church?
Yes.
Is that something you've always done, or how did that happen?
Yeah, I've always loved writing. I've always loved playing with words and making things up. I was an English major in college, and like my parents said, "What are you going to do with that?" You know, whatever. So yeah, I've always liked writing plays, and I self-published a novel. So I wrote a novel. It was just like a passion of mine just to write it back in 2005. So.
How might I never have heard this before?
Yeah, we need to
Well,
read
I have
your
copies
book.
up in my attic. I'll have to go up there.
Please.
Because it's not something that I marketed or anything like that. I just wanted to do it. I set myself out to write it. And so I did. I think, like I said, it was about 2005. So.
Is it fiction
Yeah.
or non?
Yeah,
Okay.
it's fiction.
Okay,
It's called
cool.
Maggie's Miracles.
Oh, yeah, we definitely want to read that.
We
Yeah.
need to. And why is it not a screenplay? And why are we not like producing it? That's amazing.
Yeah.
Okay,
Um,
well, yeah,
always
we're not
been
going to forget
right.
about that. So
Okay.
Don't
All
think
right.
we are. Next time we see you, you best have a copy.
Note to self: go up in the attic.
Yeah.
Where it's only 140 right now.
Yes, exactly. I know where they are, though. At least I don't have to dig
Right.
around.
Okay, good. That's pretty cool.
I had no idea.
Yeah.
So you took that into teaching creative writing.
Right. Well, I started, I worked for 16 years in a travel company here in town. And after 9/11, then everything, fell out, the bottom fell out of the travel business, rightly so. And the company that I worked for, the major destination was the Holy Land. So, of course, first of all, nobody wanted to fly. And second of all, nobody wanted to go to the Middle East. So
Yeah.
Right.
I was vice president of the company, and it was a family-founded and family-run company, and I was the only non-family person there. So on October 3rd, 12 of us were let go, which included me, and so I had to rediscover myself.
Yeah.
Back in 2001, and I toyed with the idea of either being a teacher or a nurse, or going back to school to be one or the other. I had some college credits for education. They gave me credit for educational psych and developmental psych and some other classes. And so I worked for a year in between for a friend of mine who owned a hotel down at the beach, and decided that wasn't for me. So I started teaching. So I taught 4 years at Valley View Elementary. I started as an elementary teacher teaching 4th grade because it had the writing test. That's why I wanted to be 4th grade, because it had writing in it. And then I moved to Highlands Grove Elementary when it opened, and I was there for 8 years. And I just started my 9th year now at Lawton Childs Middle, teaching creative writing and drama. So I've got both of my loves that I got to
that's
put
awesome.
together in an elective class. So
Right.
that's
With-
where I
with
landed.
kids who want to do it, right?
The majority of
Because
them,
it's
yes.
elective. Yeah.
I teach
Nice.
6th, 7th, and 8th. So by the time they're in 8th grade, they've been with me all 3 years. And, these are kids that either love to write, and their pathway for high school is to Harrison. And so they either go in the creative writing. I have them that go in the creative writing program, musical theater, theater tech, and motion picture arts.
Nice.
So
Nice.
those 5 areas at Harrison, try to get them in if that's where they want to go. Prepare them to get in.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
That's how I
Touching
got.
all those kids' lives, you know.
Yeah. Well, you are working with your students again on something that's really
Yes.
cool that you do with those creative writing classes, right?
Yes, a big part of my heart is at LCT's out of the box program. I just love that program. I love those actors, always have. And way back when I first started at Lawton, Maureen, who was the education director at the time, approached me, and she said, it's difficult to find scripts for our Out of the Box troupe. And for people who don't know what Out of the Box is, it's an acting troupe for people with either physical or developmental disabilities. And she started that group, I think it was 2011. I think it's when it started with maybe a dozen members. And now I think it's close to 100. And they have 2 classes now on Mondays. But she approached me and she said, I was going to go to the creative writing teacher at Harrison and see if they might be interested in writing some scripts for our Out of the Box troupe, because it's difficult to find material that, number one, can be modified, because some authors will say, no, you can't change anything about, it's copywritten or whatever, and you can't change the script at all. So she said, if it's something original that your kids could write for our actors, and I said, yes, absolutely. Don't go to Harrison. I want to do this. I want to grab my 8th graders, and I think they're mature enough, and we'll expose them to Out of the Box. And so that's how we started. Was back in 2016, I think we wrote the first play, which was From Bully to Buddy. She would give us a theme that she wanted us to do, and so we wrote that script, and then she got edited so that it would fit. And we give all the rights to the theater. Once we are finished, we give it to the theater, and they can do whatever they need to do to make it fit with their troupe and the needs of people. And so, the kids know that when they're writing it, that it may sound a little bit different from how you wrote it when you actually see it performed, but that's because it needed to be modified somewhat, which now they can do that, unlike with other playwrights that say you can't change it. So it makes it. And then the kids, I don't know if you would keep going. I feel like
Yes,
I'm
please do.
Oh, please do.
Then the
It's
kids,
super interesting.
when we introduced them to Out of the Box, there is a documentary that was done by Kirsty Mutz. That's our mayor, Bill Mutz, his daughter Kirsty. She did it as a project when she was in college at Southeastern. And it's a documentary called People Like Us, and it is about Out of the Box.
I
And
didn't
so
know this either.
I didn't know
all
this
these
either.
things
I
you don't
know.
to
You're
share
like
this
a
with
watch
you.
world.
It's fantastic, and she focused it on her sister Emma Mutz, who is a member of Out of the Box, and so she centered it around Emma, and then she also interviewed several of the other participants of Out of the Box and many of them still are acting on our stage. So I show that documentary to my students first, so they get an idea of what it's like and what it means. And we talk about the title, why she chose People Like Us.
Yeah.
And she puts like in bold, and because it has a double meaning. It has a double meaning that they are people just like us. They have needs, they have desires, they want to be on stage, they want to have hobbies to perform, they want applause, they want a validation. They're just like us.
Yeah.
But then it's also people like us, the audience when we perform. They applaud.
Right.
They actually, they bring us flowers. They like what we're doing, that kind of thing. So we talk about that. And then some of the kids become TKs. Some of my students become TKs, and that stands for typical kids. And those are students that come and help at Out of the Box, and they either help the members remember their lines or physically help them on stage.
Yeah, they're kind of their buddy.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. And sometimes they play characters too,
Yes,
right? Yeah.
Yes, they immerse themselves in with the Out of the Box members. And so we just started that again this year. I think last Monday was the first Out of the Box meeting.
Yeah.
I think 4 new students of mine went, and I think another 4 or 5 are coming tomorrow for the Out of the Box meeting. But then they get hooked, and they stay for all during high school, and some have finished college and are coming back. I know that one student that I had when he was in 8th grade, and was part of Out of the Box, is coming back. Told Jordyn that he would be back.
Oh,
So
that's
it's some kids go and they just get their community service hours that they need, and that's fine.
Yeah.
But then others find it a passion and a love of theirs, and they continue it all during high school.
How can we watch that video? Is it available to
The people like us.
Yeah.
Yeah. it's on
I have a
YouTube or
DVD
something?
Okay.
that
Okay.
I got. I think Maureen gave it to me
Mhm.
way back when. So I can let you let you see it because it's just at my desk.
I would
because
love
we
to see
finished
that.
it.
Yeah.
And then I used to show them the From Bully to Buddy that we wrote,
Mm-hmm.
but now I can show them Jillian's Island that we
Mhm.
just did this past spring. My past 8th graders who are now in high school did Jillian's Island for the theater in May, and so I showed them that one this year,
Mhm.
so they can get an idea. And Jordyn and I talked about a theme that, it was over Christmas break, and she was like, I have Out of the Box coming up, and I don't know what to do, and we need to do, something that would go along with Finding Nemo and with Margaritaville that would be easy as far as sets or costumes. And we had missed the parody unit that I teach my 8th graders, how to write a parody. We had missed it because of Ian. We were out of
geez.
school. And so I had
Speaking of hurricanes.
Yes, I know.
Bring it full circle. See,
Yeah.
there's
Yeah.
a squirrel after
We
all.
always
Yeah.
do that. We always do
Turns
that.
out it was fine.
Yeah.
Sorry, that was a really loud laugh.
I still think that it's a hamster wheel. But anyway, we had missed that, so I started thinking, and I said, hey, I could tie in the parody unit that I missed with
Sure.
writing the script for Out of the Box. And so, these kids in 2023 had never heard of Gilligan's Island. So I had to go out and find.
It's crazy to think that.
Oh
but yeah,
my
I know.
I lived on
They
that.
had never
Yeah,
heard of
we
it.
did.
Never heard of it. It was Gilligan's Island and Lost in Space and, Three's Company. They all these kind of shows but anyway, I found some Gilligan's Island episodes for them to watch so they could get an idea. And then so we made it a parody called Jillian's Island and renamed the main characters. And they had 6 different chance encounters with 6 different groups that trying to get off the island kind of thing. So this year, the one that we're writing right now, because my students are actively working on it right now, Jordyn wants it by Labor Day.
Oh, geez.
Oh gosh,
Yes.
it's like a week
Well,
away.
because Labor Day there will not be an
She
Out of the
runs a
Box.
tight ship,
Yeah, so
doesn't
well,
she?
she
Yeah,
really
she
wants
really
it by
does.
September 11th, which is the next time that they will meet after Labor Day. It's called Turkey Trouble because their show is going to be the weekend before Thanksgiving. So I have a central group that's writing about the turkey and the farmer family that it lives with, and then its adventures with 6 different kind of people all around Thanksgiving themes. So I split my classes up, and one class writes 3 scenes, and another class writes the other 3 scenes, and then I have a group of core writers that write for the main characters. So it worked. It worked last year, and seems like it's working so
so
far this
cool.
year.
I know, I
so.
love
That
it.
is really cool.
That
Do you
is.
give them the themes, or do they come up with those?
Well, Jordyn and I talked both about Jillian's Island and about this one.
I was not clear. Like
Jordyn we were saying what kind of people can they run into that has to do
Right,
with
right. What type of storyline?
Right.
So you're
Okay.
giving some of the story and then letting kids fill out the rest.
Yes.
Okay.
So I don't want to give too much away in case there's a lot of people out there that want to
Spoilers.
come
Yes.
see Out of the Box in November.
Yeah.
But like one of the groups that the turkey that the students have named Gary because they don't want to do the traditional Tom, that's
Yeah.
boring.
Right.
So
Yeah.
they
I
want to
love
think
that.
out of the box. See what I did
Gary.
there?
Oh,
Yeah.
nice.
Yeah. So they've named the turkey Gary, and lives on a farm with the farmer and his wife and their 2 kids, who are Billy Bob and Betty Sue, because we are Florida and we are Polk County.
Polk County. Let's clarify.
Yes.
Or if we got that one voicemail left for you, it was Polk County.
That's right.
Did you get that one?
Yes. The automated voicemail. Yes.
Yeah. Anyway.
Yep. So one of the first groups I run into are a bunch of people exercising in a park that are about to do a turkey trot run. So we thought about what things have to do with Thanksgiving. So we
Right.
did turkey trot, and we did the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade,
Nice.
Black Friday shopping.
Oh my gosh.
all these
So
different
much
kind
fun.
of
So you like start with like a brainstorm cloud and be like, what are these things related to? Like,
Yes.
and
Yeah.
that helps kind of get the juices flowing.
And then they divide themselves up into groups of writers, like groups of 7 or 8 students, and then I say, which one do you want? I let them kind of randomly pick what scene they want to write. And they only argued over one scene. There's a chef scene, sort of like in The Little Mermaid, you know, after the crab, except this time they're after the turkey. Yeah. So that one they kind of battled over that scene because they wanted to write that one.
Yeah.
But other than that, they had a mind of
That's amazing.
what they wanted to do.
This is so cool.
Yeah, it
There's
is
one
cool.
rich family that they're going to run into, and so they're naming them the Kardashians instead of the Kardashians.
Oh, there you
They're
go.
the Kardashians. And all of the characters' first name, one's Portia, one's Bentley.
'Cause they're all cars.
Yes. So
Cute.
yeah, I'm very proud of them. I'm very, very proud of them. And they get a little carried away because they get so excited.
Yeah.
And then I will send like drafts to Jordyn and see, is this okay? Is this going all right? And she'll say things like, well, we can't say that and out of the box, so let's
Yeah.
tone it down. Or she'll say things like, she said, keep it simplistic but funny. You know, use puns, use jokes, and that kind of thing, and keep the dialogue short. So, you know, we'll go through and edit it a little bit.
Yeah.
The opening
Yeah.
scene has already gone through one edit, and we tightened it up, and we were laughing even harder. You know, that
Oh.
we made it even better. So we're trying to get that done. So that's why I don't want hurricane days away from school. I got to get this done.
Well, how many days will you have had to work on it by the time you're handing it over to Jordyn with the kids?
Probably, actually, physically writing, probably 2 school weeks, so 10 days.
Okay.
Wow,
Yeah.
that's not much
Because
at
I took
all.
time.
No, it's not.
It takes like two days to watch People Like Us, and then a couple days to watch Jillian's Island, because we have 45-minute classes.
Yeah, I was gonna say you only have them for a snapshot of time a day.
Right, and then we had, you know, if you have a fire drill, or you have
Yep.
a lockdown drill, or you have early release, like we did on Friday, you know, you have abbreviated time. So I am
Yeah.
pushing them a little hard, but usually it's about 5 pages that they have to write, because
Okay.
that takes long enough for the scene to be 5 to 10 minutes. So they're like on page 2 or 3 already. So I'm
Oh, they're
I'm
gonna get it
impressed.
done. Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
impressed. I move around. I have a rolly chair, and I move around my classroom from scene to scene, and I'm like, okay, you don't see me. I'm not here. I'm just listening. And then if they say something, I go, oh no, can't say that now. I know you'd love to, but it works and it's funny. But no, we gotta think of something else.
Reel it
for
in.
that.
What a great talent that you're teaching these kids. What a
Yeah.
great skill, because writing just a paragraph or writing about, you know, a certain subject is totally different, right, than like screenwriting, than writing an actual script.
Yeah.
I mean,
well,
that's
like the kids do a lot of essay type tasks.
Yes, this
Right.
is different. Yeah.
This gives them a different way to go about thinking about how to write those stories. And even if they never like write a book or whatever later on, I think if they learn how to brainstorm and they learn how to kind of creatively come up with those ideas, like
Yes.
how many different ways they can apply that in a job sometime in the future, you know.
Yeah. Character development, all of that. Where's that arc? How does that, and then to see, because they're all kind of working separately right now, but then when they bring it all together, how to see that it's just going to create this one big great story. I mean, I love that creative process.
I do.
And they hold
Yeah.
each other accountable, because the rubric that I give them, they self-evaluate, or they anonymously evaluate their team members.
Okay.
So they, one of the grades that they get is how is their team member as far as creativity, or offering suggestions, or taking criticism. So there are all these things that I think are life skills
Yeah,
that
Oh,
we need to
all of
learn.
that.
And
Working
so
as a
working as a
team.
team to get it done, because I mean, I'll overhear them go, no, I think we should say, well, I think, and I said, well, let's vote on it. I said, that's the perfect way to handle it. What does the group as a whole think that you should do for that? So,
Yeah.
yeah, it's,
And they'll have plenty of working in a group as an adult too.
Exactly.
It's
Yeah.
nice to know going in how to help your group actually function as a group, instead of going and being that person. Like, I know in school, we did a lot of group projects, and how it ended up is I did the group project.
Right, because I wanted a good
Their
grade.
names on there, and then we turned it in. like,
Yep.
That's what happens when we're control people.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
like, we'll just take care of it.
Kathy,
Exactly.
you're 8. Like,
I
you
know,
did the
that's
same
what I was
thing. I know
saying.
you did.
Absolutely.
And you're
Hence the we.
a perfectionist, so
Yeah.
I know you did.
Oh, I did.
I
But
did
like,
too.
yeah, see, but
Missed
it's
out on
good
that
to
skill.
teach a skill on how to actually, let go and let God or whatever to allow your group to flourish.
Yeah.
Are a lot of the kids have theater experience, or some are coming in pretty blind to it?
By 8th grade, because they're the ones writing the script, they've been exposed, through me talking to them about taking classes at LCT or doing that kind of stuff. Some of them have experience on the stage. So I usually will ask my 6th graders from the beginning, just getting to know them, how many of you have done something either at your church or at your school, because some schools put on shows. So just to get an idea of their background. But others have never seen live theater at all. So that's why I'm so happy that we can go on field trips again.
Yeah.
So I have my 6th graders, we already are set to go see Honk at LCT.
Nice.
For the student
that's
performance.
awesome.
My 7th graders will see The Happy Elf in December. And then the 8th graders are going to Harrison to see Cinderella. So
Nice.
I try to expose them because, again, some of these kids,
Yeah, they might not
well,
otherwise.
no. And then some students will see it and fall in love with it. Or the first time that they're in stage in class doing something. I had a student who in 6th grade got on stage to do one of the little scenes that we do at school, and I'm like, she's really talented, And so I asked her, I said, have you ever done anything? She's like, no, I've never done anything before, no. And so I had a chat with her mom, and I said, your child is really talented, and maybe should take a class or do something. And what? No, my kid's never done anything on the stage. But she did. She took a class. She auditioned at LCT, didn't get cast the first time, got cast the second time, got cast the third time, and
Nice.
is now at Harrison in musical
my
theater.
gosh.
So,
Nice.
so I mean, the parents had an idea that, oh, my kid's going to go on this path, and then
Right.
she was such a natural on stage that I was like, wait, this kid had to have experience, had to do something.
Yeah.
And no, she
That
hadn't.
was just a raw
It was
talent.
nature.
And she got in for both musical theater and creative writing at Harrison.
Wow.
And she was like, Mr. Jones, I'm so afraid that if I pick musical theater, I'll make you disappointed. And if I pick creative
Aw.
writing, I'll make Miss Jordyn disappointed. And I'm like, no, honey, no. We're not
Follow
going to
your
be
dream.
disappointed.
Yeah,
And
we're
so-
just excited you got in.
Yes, exactly. So she told me, she said, I think I'm going to pick musical theater. And I said, then just don't stop writing. Just in your own time, journaling or whatever, because she was a gifted writer too. So,
Yeah.
it's like, just keep doing that, but do what you really want to love or really want to follow. So,
That's awesome.
I'm having total flashbacks of when we did the podcast about the GAP initiative. Because I feel like you're kind of on that same wavelength. He's picking up these kids that wouldn't never have maybe had that experience or exposure, and you're able to give that to them. And, because you're talented and you have that background yourself, you're able to identify it, and then you, like, just in this child's journey, you were able to talk to the mom, and luckily the parents were open to it.
the mom was my principal. That was a really difficult conversation to have with my principal. I was like, I'm not trying to push your kid one way or the other, but yeah, she was my principal at the time, her mom.
Oh, that's kind of funny.
That's how Lily Kate started. We had no experience at all with theater, and somebody at a football game was watching her dance, and they're like, she needs to be in theater classes. And she started Jordyn's class the next semester, and
That's funny that they saw her dance and
Yeah.
said go to theater.
they're like,
She was probably using
and
her
not-
whole
she's
body.
was
Like, go to dance.
glitter in her
Yeah.
veins. Yeah.
Oh, well, yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely glitter in her veins, that one.
Yeah.
Yeah, so just recognizing
And
that.
she can teach me how to dance.
I want to plug Out of the Box really quick, even more,
Yes.
just make sure people
Oh,
know.
yes.
I believe it's November 17th, 18th
It is,
is
yes,
the
Friday night and Saturday morning of the shows. Yeah.
If you want to smile, laugh, if you want your heart to grow, if you want to get in this season, the spirit of Christmas, go to Out of the Box. You will
Yes.
have so much fun. And first time we went, we loved it so much we started volunteering. It's the best thing all year that you will see. So
Yeah.
get your ticket. I don't think you even have to have a ticket, do you? I
No,
think
they're
it's
free.
free.
It's free,
Yeah.
yeah.
And if you can't
Just
go,
ask for donations
yeah,
afterwards.
yeah, give a little bit to them because it's a really, really neat.
Yeah, it's an amazing program. It
Program.
does a lot of good in the community. And yeah, that whole make your heart swell type
Yeah.
thing is
It's
definitely for
real.
Yeah, if you're feeling
Yeah.
grinchy and your heart needs to grow a few sizes.
It will
The
happen.
week before Thanksgiving, you might be feeling that way.
Yeah,
So
Yeah.
you
Yes,
might need to
exactly.
put yourself
Yeah.
in the right attitude before the
That's the
holidays
place to do
start.
it.
Yeah, and you'll be thanking, counting your blessings and everything. I mean, those people are amazing. Oh my gosh, and the people
It
that
is.
help. And we just got involved with it for the first time with Jillian's Island, and we did it as a family, and it was so, oh my gosh, yeah, that
Did all that
experience was
tech
wonderful.
stuff moving all the
We did, yeah,
It's
yeah.
not a heavy
We're
tech
gonna do
show.
it next-
No,
But-
usually not.
No,
Yeah.
no.
We
But
did,
just helping,
I want to go to Mars
Yeah.
together. That one, the worst was that there were just a ton of chairs that had to go on and off.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was like
Oh, it's my favorite.
such a cute little story, and
Mhm.
yeah. And
I'm
that was
just
based
so
on a book.
appreciative that Maureen reached out to me. Like she said, she was going to go to Harrison with it, and I'm glad I snatched that away.
Yeah.
And said,
Yeah, you were like, "No, this is my
I want
baby."
I want my
Yeah.
kids to do that. And I'm just thankful that she, even thought about me at that point. And,
Yeah.
And then when she stepped down and handed it over to Jordyn, and it's like, "Hey, Dad." So I think we wrote for them. We wrote for them in 2016 and 2017, and then we took a break because Maureen had somebody else who was doing some writing for them, and then COVID, and so we started back up again, and Maureen stepped down and Jordyn took over. And then she's like, "I need something to do for Out of the Box for the May show." I said, "Okay, well, we'll get involved again." So this will be the Turkey Trouble one. Will be the fourth script that.
Are you going to do
my
the next one
students-
too for the?
Well, she's planning on it.
Yeah. Are
Jordyn
you
is planning
planning
on
on
it. Well, I mean, I think the kids are enjoying it so much that I can adjust my curriculum around.
What a great piece of curriculum, though.
Yes.
I mean,
It
goodness.
is. And I have very supportive administration at my school, and they come and see it. And
Oh, nice.
So, I think they'll be fine with me doing it again. And the kids, when they're 8th grade, they can't drive. So
Right.
it is a commitment that the parents have to buy into also.
Right.
And sometimes they don't know anything about Out of the Box, and the kids come home and they start telling them about it, and they say, "I want to do this," and and then they have to work around, do they play baseball or soccer or softball or dance or other things. So it's it works out with having 2 classes. Sometimes they can volunteer for one and they don't have to be there for the other, or if they can, they go ahead and do both. So
And they have so many people that are involved in it, they have to have 2, right? Like they had to
Yeah.
split the
Yes.
numbers, split the classes because it was
Yeah.
growing. It's such a wonderful
Yeah,
thing
so
in our community.
JJ, who we interviewed pretty early on, he was a member of Out of the Box
Yes, he was.
early years.
From the beginning.
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah. And,
And
look
how
where he
many
is
people
now.
did he say was in it? It was
Oh, it was a handful. It wasn't
Yeah.
many.
Yeah, I think it was like
around-
less than 12 or
yeah,
something.
around a dozen is what I've
Yeah.
heard
Yeah.
Maureen say before. And in the documentary that I'm going to get to you guys.
yes, yes.
We'll have to find a
Or-
DVD player to watch
Yeah.
it on, but yeah.
Yeah.
If Kirsty's listening, if you got any more extra copies, Kirsty, drop them off at the theater. But it mentions when it started because of Pam Mutz, the mayor's wife, and Mrs. Mutz. She had Kirsty and Emma both auditioned for a show at LCT. And Kirsty was like, Emma can't do this. She has Down syndrome. We don't want people making fun of her. But they were both cast. And the director, Kirsty says, told the rest of the cast, everybody stop and watch Emma and be like Emma. Put the energy and the enthusiasm. You're just kind of walking through it, and so then
Right.
Kirsty said she felt embarrassed for herself that she would think that her sister, who has this disability, couldn't be on the stage with her. And so Pam Mutz then went to Maureen and said, "Is there something that we can do for other members of the Downs community or with special needs is what they call them?" And so Maureen said, "Absolutely, we can do that." And that's how Out of the Box started, and has just continued to explode and grow and
Yeah.
develop.
Yeah.
And
Every year it's bigger.
Yeah, it is.
Which is
And I love the name too.
amazing.
Out of the box.
Yeah.
It's just.
it's
so many
really a
different
gem
names.
of LCT.
Absolutely.
You can talk all you want about the main stage or the theater for youth or anything like that, but that Out of the Box just makes our theater stand out. And I get frustrated a lot when people are like, you talk about our theater and they'll say, "We have a theater in town." Is that the
Yes.
Polk Theater? I'm like, no, it's not. Is that Theater Winter Haven? And
Yeah.
Dan, if you're listening, I love Theater Winter Haven. You know that too. But no, it's not Theater Winter Haven. It's right there by Texas Cattle Company. Oh, that auditorium. No, you have to try
that. It's in between.
I just
Yes.
don't understand how, with a
I don't
city
know.
like Lakeland, they don't know that we have
I don't know.
this theater that puts
It's
on.
very frustrating.
Yeah.
I was talking with one of the kids, so I've been over at Cinderella Land with Harrison, helping mentor there, and one of the kids is a theater kid, not musical theater, but he's a theater kid, and he didn't know. He had no idea about LCT.
Really?
Which I was just really, like, of all the kids to not know it, a
Right.
theater kid to not know it, I was just so sad by that. Yeah, we need to do a better job of helping to push our theater, huh?
Yes, we do. We're trying.
Yeah, we're doing a Christmas float, I think, ladies, this
Oh, that's
year.
right. We are doing
Oh,
a
I know. I heard about that.
Oh boy.
And I'm with Alan on that one. I was like,
Yes.
nope, don't get me involved. I did one of those at Highlands Grove one year. I'm like, no, no more Christmas parade for this guy.
Yeah, they're pretty rough. They're pretty rough just to watch,
Yeah.
to be in.
I don't like crowds like that.
I
so
don't
I don't
either.
even.
They get
I'll-
it's so crowded.
Yeah. I mean, they
All
start
those
putting their chairs out
for,
like a
2
week.
days.
Yeah.
They do. They put them out. I think we've
Jeez.
only attended maybe one when the kids were
Right.
super tiny. I don't even know if they remember.
We've watched it. You can watch it live from the comfort of your own bed.
That's how
what
I
we
watch
do.
it. So when Jordan said, "Dad, I think I'm going to do the Christmas parade," I'm like, "Good for you." No, I'm going to tell you no on that one. No, I'm with Alan. Go right ahead. Just do it.
Don't make me a part of it.
Yeah, don't involve me whatsoever.
Yeah, we'll do anything once. We'll see how it goes.
Yeah, drama mamas on the
and see,
parade.
yeah, that's because she has
Float.
such support from parents at the theater. I mean, you guys are just amazing. I know there are others too that
Yeah.
aren't
There's
part
lots.
of the podcast, but
Right.
who are just who want their kids to have a safe, fun place where they can express themselves and be themselves. Explore new things that they might have never done before, and it just changes their life. Sometimes
Yeah.
changes the direction of their life.
Yeah,
Yeah, to have that environment, it's priceless.
it
Yeah.
is. And we say safe, right? Like physically safe for sure, but emotionally safe. And
Yeah.
just,
And
loving
supportive.
and supportive.
Accepting.
And accepting.
Yeah.
Yes.
There's
Yes.
nothing like the theater
No.
for that.
Yes, it is the safest of places. Yeah.
You don't know until you try it.
I know, exactly.
No, you don't. So if you haven't tried it, I urge you to.
Yeah, go get involved.
You have nothing to lose.
Yeah, go
You might
audition
fall
for
in love
Les
with
Mis
it.
for the first time.
Hey,
Something like
listen, go big or go home.
Exactly.
Right, Steven?
And if
Go big or go
Alan's
home.
listening, it's been like a decade. We could probably do a Les Mis again. I know I'm just going to bat for you. 'Cause
Yeah.
I already know.
Yeah. I think we're
At least the music,
what are
right?
we-
Isn't that
we're
what you
coming
said?
up on season 30.
6?
I feel like
5 or 6.
6.
Oh,
think
goodness. I
it's-
should know this.
I think it's 7 or 8 actually.
I think it's 8.
I don't know.
Les Mis
I
is
think-
coming to Straz this year
Let's look at it.
in June.
But he
I know,
was
because
talking.
The Straz has an amazing
Oh my
season.
gosh, do they ever?
Yes, they do.
Yes.
But yeah, Alan, if you are listening, even though I've told you this many times,
Or putting it out there.
I think our 40th is not too far away. Our 40th
Oh, so do it for the
season.
40th?
38's about to start.
Okay, so
Okay.
38
Yeah,
is about to
38,
start.
that's what I was
So
Chris got there faster.
Yeah.
yeah, I
Quick
mean, I
fingers
just have
over
like a
there.
few more dream roles left, but I'm about to age myself out of that.
What are they? Let's talk about that.
Oh no!
Yeah.
I mean, I've always wanted to be Daddy Warbucks and Annie, and I think I'm,
we need
almost
to
I'm
do
gonna be
Annie.
Grandpa Warbucks instead of Daddy Warbucks before too long. So, but I think Annie was done the last time in 2012, 10, 12, something.
Okay, so that's right about up there, too.
So,
It's over the 10 years.
but yeah, and then Sam was one of them, so I got to do that one, and. There's, and I wish, I don't know when the rights would ever come out for Come From Away.
Oh,
You guys
that
remember
was
Wayne?
such a fun
yeah.
show.
That show is so powerful.
Yes,
Yes.
it is.
I mean, for me, because I've been to Gander, because I've been to that airport. I had to change planes or refuel or something one time during my travels. So I know what that looks like and what the people are like there. And then, of course, 9/11 changed my life from what I was doing for my job into what I'm doing now. But that show is just so powerful, and I wouldn't care what part.
Yeah. They were all good.
I just would love to be a part of
Yeah.
that show.
You can watch the Broadway version of that. Is it HBO? It's one of the
Like the professional recording.
Yes.
That's what we watched.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, it's
Yeah,
so
this
good.
is
We saw
like
it
I
at the
think within a
Straz,
day or
too.
two of it being released, we watched it.
When a show, I mean, we saw it at the Straz, but when a show moves you so much that you're in tears, either chills or tears or something, you know that that's a special kind of show. So
Yeah.
those are some things that are on my list, but I don't know. I think I might be going more stage reads so I don't have to memorize as much anymore.
I feel you on that.
I do too. I'm starting to notice that too. It's like, oh my gosh,
Yeah.
what happened?
But
I used to be so
The
smart.
stage reads. And for people out there who don't know,
I'm still smart. I just can't remember anything.
that's true.
No.
I have to
Yeah.
write it all down.
That's true.
Because we
It
only
is
have
true.
so much space.
But I am getting to be
and
a
it
really good
just-
note taker, so
Oh,
there
yeah.
you go.
I got
Yeah.
stickies all
I
over
tell
my
my
house.
sixth graders,
Yep.
I'll learn your name by October. Okay, just for right now, you just tell me your name again.
Unless you're really bad, then I know your
Sure,
name by
yeah.
tomorrow.
Yeah. I led my introduction with
good
all the
thing if I don't
Harrison
know your
kids. I led with I suck at names. Just laying it
Yeah.
out there to start that building process.
Yes.
I'm going to ask you a lot. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's just a thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It is.
Don't take it personally. It doesn't mean I don't
Yeah.
like you.
I'll-
I mean, I may have seen you 4 or 5 times over at LCT, and now we're here, and I'm still like,
Well, you know them by their
Give me your name
roles.
again.
Like you were the mayor, or you were,
You
but
were
I
a
don't know your
reindeer.
name.
Exactly.
yes.
So you do something else fun with your kids. You take them to performances and then have them write reviews or critiques, or
Yes.
tell us
Yeah.
about
Oh,
that.
yeah.
Well, I do
did
either.
not know that.
I've got 2 different things that I do with them because my school is first of all, it's a magnet school. I can say the name of my school, can I?
Yeah.
Okay. Yes, I think I might have already said it. I'm at Lawton Childs Middle Academy. So we are a magnet school, but we're also an IB school. So we're an
Okay.
international baccalaureate school. So what I do is a part of the IB curriculum are called these IB learner profiles, and there are 10 different ones of characteristics that you should have to be a better global citizen. So they're like being knowledgeable and an inquirer, risk taker, caring, balanced, reflective. No, I'm a bad IB teacher. I can't think of all the rest of them off the top of my head. But so what I'll do is if they see a performance, and it's whether it's a live one that I take them to or a field trip, or also in class, I'll show them. Like my 6th graders watch Driving Miss Daisy with Angela Lansbury and James Earl Jones.
Oh my gosh.
That's hysterically
And my
funny
7th, I show them Irving Berlin's Holiday Inn, and different shows during the year that they'll see. Then we compare the characters to the IB learner profile traits. So we say, tell me a time during the musical or the play where Miss Daisy demonstrated that she was reflective. So they have to take notes while they're watching it to say, oh, there's where Miss Daisy, or where Hoke, or where Booley was one of these traits. And then the other thing that I do at times is when we go on a field trip is I'll say, I have a critique form. Say, did the choreography add or distract from your experience? Did the set design? I did this after the last time I did it was after Mary Poppins, when I took my 8th graders to Mary Poppins at Harrison last year. And so we did a critique of Mary Poppins, and then they as if they were a critic,
Yeah.
and then they give it out of how many 5 stars, and then I tally those up, and we say, okay, this is what you as a class, what you think, how you felt about this performance, and they fill in about the lead actors and the supporting actors, and if you could give an award to one actor, which one would it be? And overwhelmingly last year was interesting. It was Mrs. Brill. They all loved Mrs. Brill
Oh,
in
yeah.
Mary
Yeah.
Poppins last
Oh,
year.
wow,
Yeah. So
Well, she was great. She was very consistent too.
Yeah.
Like throughout the whole show. Like I felt like she kind of kept her character.
they liked Miss Andrew too. They liked Miss Andrew too because everybody likes a villain.
Yes.
And I love playing villains too. Those are fun. So
Well, that was the first time I ever saw you, actually. You were Hook
yes, I was.
in Peter Pan. I didn't know anything about the theater existing. We had moved from Orlando to Lakeland and had been here maybe a couple of years. And we befriended our neighbor, and she knew you because
Mhm.
you were both teachers together.
Yes, we taught beside
And
each other.
she took me to come see you at the theater to see Peter Pan. And I also saw
Oh,
Grease
cool.
there.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
I got to play sleazeball in Greece.
Were you?
Vince Fontaine.
so
yeah.
you were in both shows?
Yes.
Oh, I didn't realize that.
I was in Vince Fontaine in Greece was only about 15 minutes at the top of Act 2 at the dance
Okay.
when I made out with Marty on the proscenium, which was really. Can I tell that story real fast?
Yes.
Yeah.
Which is really
Wait,
interesting
Love
because
theater.
he's asking permission to squirrel.
Yeah,
And,
license to squirrel.
the actress who played License to Squirrel.
I love that.
That should have been a Margaritaville.
That should have.
Many of those rehearsals, yeah. But the actress who was playing Marty is the one, Marty Maraschino, that's the one that Vince Fontaine goes after.
Yeah.
Well, she's a wonderful actress named Laura Modrell, and if you saw Sweeney Todd, she was Mrs. Lovett in that show. But we had been in a couple shows together, and so she's like my daughter's age, and I had to hit on her, and we had to like make out on the proscenium.
Oh, gosh.
So I was like, we had to have this little chat, as actors do. How far is too far? And I said, I don't want to creep you out. I'm not going to molest you or anything, but we have to make this look real.
Yeah.
So how are we going to do this? So she, the trooper that she is, she's like, just go for it. And I'm like, wait, no, you're my daughter's age. I can't do this,
Did she say welcome to Hollywood?
Yeah, exactly. Saying happy birthday, Mr. President. No, she would put on extra lipstick before that scene. And so while we're at the proscenium, she would kiss my cheeks and everything, because I had to shave for that show and everything.
Yeah.
I just had like, I called it the porn mustache. Was
Yeah.
the only thing I was allowed to have.
Oh,
'Cause
creeper
creepy
mustache.
Vince Fontaine.
Yeah.
So she would kiss all over my cheeks while we were on the proscenium, just my cheeks.
Yeah.
Okay, and so whenever the principal, got my attention and I pulled away from her, then I had all these kiss
You
marks.
look like
all over.
y'all were,
I had really been making out. So we were on up against the proscenium one show, and she was doing that, and they had her mics off, thank goodness, because I told her, I said, my wife's in the audience tonight. And she said, good, I'm going to give you extra kisses. So she laid a few more on my face like that. And we were like giggling, laughing. She's a dear person. And so then the next show, we were up against the proscenium again. And so she was putting her kisses on my cheeks, and she goes, my dad's in the audience.
Oh, no.
I was like, oh my gosh, I'm going to die tonight because your dad's in the audience. And we couldn't stop laughing. We literally could not stop laughing when she told me that her dad was in the audience, because that was worse than my wife being in the audience.
Yeah.
Because all the kids will say, like, when I tell them that you have to do stage kissing, you have to kiss. I was talking about Mamma Mia. That I got married to Donna. I mean, Sam gets married to Donna, and so I had to kiss Ashley, who played Donna. Dear friend of mine too. Her husband's in the audience for every show. My wife's in the audience. But shout out to the theater spouses who understand that your spouse is just acting. So, because the kids are like, but Mr. Jones, you're married and you were kissing another woman. I'm like, yeah, it's acting. It's called acting.
Anyway, they're different.
Yeah. Oh, they are different.
How are they different? As somebody who's never done a stage kiss.
I just, as I understand it, like a kiss when you kiss your husband, right?
Yeah.
That's different.
Different.
More
It's just-
involved.
There's like
Yes,
feeling.
it's more involved.
It's not just mechanical,
Like,
right?
I think it's just- you're just holding your lips together.
Yes.
In a stage kiss.
Okay.
It has to look real from the
Less
audience.
intrusive.
Whatever
Or
you,
it's like corner to corner, right?
yeah, or you can, a lot of people like put their hands like on their cheeks, so that, and then it looks like you're kissing more or not. But
I don't know.
sometimes you just, like, I think Donna and I had to kiss like 5 or 6 times in Mamma Mia. It wasn't, of course, until the end, because she hated me through the whole show. It was really,
Yes.
I mean, she didn't hate me, but she was mad at me through the whole show, and just the end there where we had to kiss. But there was an awful lot of that was done when we were getting married.
Yeah.
But I mean,
Yeah,
it was
you're supposed
just
to be
like
in love and
exactly.
all of this,
you have
you know?
you can't for the audience to go, I didn't feel any chemistry or that they were actually in love, because then that doesn't work.
And it's a hard thing because, like, I feel like everybody that has to kiss on stage, they're like siblings practically in the theater.
Oh.
Because they've done stuff together for so long or whatever, or parental figures with.
Exactly.
Awkward.
If Ashley O'Connor is listening, we have a joke, Ashley and I, because I've played her husband, because she was Mrs. Darling in Peter Pan, so I was her husband with Mr. Darling and Hook. I've played her husband. I played her grandfather in Young Frankenstein. I was her grandfather. I've played her secret lover in a stage read where I did have to kiss her, and she is, again, my daughter's age. But,
Yeah.
I mean, so Ashley and I have this thing like, well, when we're in shows together, who are we going to be this show?
Right.
What is our connection in this one? So
That's
you know,
kinda
just
cool.
when you are on the stage often and you're cast with like people, you don't know what that relationship is going to be and how you've got to build
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
So I mean, that's what I try to tell my students is that now if you go do theater for youth, you're not going to have to be kissing on stage. Okay, this is adult stuff and main stage, but
Yeah.
They do get shocked. They're overwhelmed
Yeah.
that this really happens. You know, like, ooh.
I'm
I said,
sure
"What do you-"
PJ never thought he was going to be kissing Robertino. Oh, they totally did.
When?
Yeah, in
Chitty?
Chitty Chitty Bang Bang, yeah.
because he played one of the spies.
I don't remember that.
Yeah, it was like a thing.
I blocked it
That's
out.
the only reason I went for the show was to see that.
One of the drops was in, right? It was like it was on the apron that they did it.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
feel like it's there.
Because he was like
sort of there
the king
somewhere.
or the
Baron.
Yeah, he was
Yeah.
the Baron. Yeah, and so PJ's character, I guess, had a little
How do I not remember
thing
that?
with that. I don't know. But yeah,
Goodness.
yeah.
So, as a parent of a theater kid, does it ever get easier watching your child perform, audition, all of
Well,
that?
Jordyn will say, I don't know if she said when she was on here, that we never sent her to theater camp.
Well, yes,
Yes,
we're
oh,
very
for
clear
sure.
on that.
Yes.
She will make sure everybody
All the
knows that.
time.
Yes.
No, we sent her
Horrible
to soccer camp and cooking camp and,
No,
you know.
but she was putting on shows in your living room and still no theater camp.
Yes.
No.
I don't know, you know. I'm gonna defer
Where
on
did
that
you
one. I don't know.
Congrats to you for not blaming your wife because you could have totally just done that right
I don't know,
now.
I just
And
felt
you
a
did it.
deferral.
I said I defer.
And you did it. Yes.
But she would do all the talent shows in elementary,
Yeah.
and she took piano. She did take piano, and one year I can't remember if it was third grade or fourth grade. She came home and she said, "I'm doing the talent show." And we're like, "Oh, well, what are you going to play this year?" She said, "I'm singing." And we were like, she'd never taken a voice lesson. She had never done anything like that before, and so Tracy, my wife, and I were when we went to the talent show, we were like panicked, totally panicked
God,
that
yeah.
when she got up there to sing, she had every confidence in the world that she could sing this song, and she sang Reflection from Mulan.
Oh.
And I don't think I breathed the whole time that she was singing. And I remember sitting there going, she can sing.
Yeah.
How did
she's
I not
really
know
good.
this?
Aw.
How did we
Especially
not-
you being a singer yourself.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, she was in kids choir at church and
Right.
had a little solo every now and then. And I thought, well, she can carry a tune at least, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Unlike my wife, I will put that out there. And we all know
Poor
that.
Tracy.
I know. She harmonizes without knowing it. It's just great.
Hey,
in church we
it's
would
her
do that.
secret talent.
The kids would be like, "Mom, you harmonize." Really? I didn't know.
I thought I was singing the
So whenever I tell people that Jordyn got it from me, she did really.
Legitimate.
But anyway, so then she just kept going with music, and dropped piano, which I think she wishes she would have stayed with it. But and then by the time she got to middle school in 8th grade, she was cast as Cinderella
Yeah.
when Lakeland Highlands Middle School did that. And then I started working like backstage, and I became the theater parent. And she went on to, which is really interesting. She did not get into Harrison as
she's
a
also pointed
student.
that out.
Yes.
Yeah.
She,
Yeah.
so she went to Jenkins, and they had a really good musical theater program when she was there. And we did Little Abner in her 9th grade year. She played Daisy May. We did Little Women in her 10th grade year, and she was Jo March. We did Seven Brides for Seven Brothers her junior year, and she was one of the Seven Brides. And then we did Footloose her senior year, when she was Rusty. So I was involved all 4 of those years helping. I really can't build anything. I'm not good with mechanical tools, but I can direct people
Okay.
around to do
There you
things.
go, there you go.
And help change sets and all that kind of stuff. So I was a backstage parent for those years. And then she said, "This is what I want to do." And then, as you all know, because you know her, went on and got her BFA in theater, musical theater, and then her master's. And is now using her love. And to really get back to your question, Angela, I'm sorry about that. I went on the wheel there for a little bit.
Join us.
It's
a fun ride.
nice to be with you guys.
Yes.
But what I feel now, and Tracy and I have talked about this, is when we watch her now, it's just absolute pride in watching your kid do what they love to do, that they found what they really love to do. And I went a couple days during camp this summer because, Dad, I need you to pick up something, and I'd run by because I was out for summer from school, and I would just sit in the back and watch her with the kids. and I've watched her without the box, and I've listened to many voice lessons. And I knew all of you guys said at one point that she's a life coach too.
Oh gosh, yes.
Yes, she is.
Last
come in
Wednesday.
and they just unload and they feel comfortable enough to talk to Jordyn about those things. So as a parent, that there couldn't be anything better than to feel that your kid is making a difference in other kids' lives.
Must be so proud.
And I'm very
Yeah.
proud.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, like we're about to go to the volunteer recognition, and I know that she's going to her first time going up there to recognize some of the youth, in the theater, and she just, I mean, I just love her. Of course, I love her, but I'm so proud of her and what she does to help with kids, whether it's at LCT or whether it's at Harrison when she's teaching voice there. I watched what she did with Janiyah.
Yes.
And I know you've had Janiyah on here. And
Yeah.
Janiyah, honey, if you're listening, you're probably too busy at Baldwin
Yeah.
Wallace. But,
Yeah.
but if you're listening, Janiyah, she was so invested in Janiyah and so proud of her. And that's what's really cool as a parent. And being in shows with her, that's a lot of fun. I think
Yeah.
we've done like 4 or 5 together. And Mamma Mia, I was the lead, she was in the ensemble. In Margaritaville, she was the lead, I was in the ensemble. So it's fun to watch each other.
Yeah.
And, I'd be sitting in the wings on stage left, and she'd come off stage, and she'd come around and she'd go, Dad, was that okay? Was that all right? Or, I totally
seeking
screwed
your
that up. I
approval.
forgot my backpack. Or, just
Yeah.
telling me things. And so being able to do that with whether your child is young, or I'm not going to put out her age, or they're an adult. Yeah. I mean, it's still, we have that in common. We have that love for live theater and music and everything in common. So
That
that's
will
always
forever
special.
bond you. That's a really special relationship. It's
Yeah.
not going anywhere.
And it was funny because when I started at LCT, because Jordyn had been involved, I was Jordyn's dad. And then she left and went away for school.
Yeah.
And then when she came back, she was Steven's daughter.
Yeah. Yeah.
She wasn't, she had to get back in doing shows and stuff. And now I'm
Yeah,
just
they couldn't
Jordyn's-
even remember her name.
Oh, I know, Trudy. She got Trudy, yeah. She got Trudy when she said I should always be Trudy at LCT. But, and then, of course, when she came back and took over, now I'm Miss Jordyn's dad, and that's fine.
Yeah.
I like being a theater dad. I think I'm a theater dad to a lot of kids or adults
Yes.
there.
Yes.
Because,
Yes.
they're just all my kids.
Yep, we feel the same.
Yeah,
Oh,
totally.
100%. Yeah, for sure. Gabby knows she can always find
Yeah.
you if she needs something or whatever, you'll always give it to her straight, That's important. It's important.
Well, and that's the cool thing about the theaters. There's so many people that love your children. There's safe places all around. If they need
Yes.
somebody to talk to, or even if they have a
Yeah.
question about their not a uniform, costume, or anything, there's so many
Yeah.
people there willing to just jump in and help.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
that family experience thing.
Yeah.
Well, and like a lot of the people that we've interviewed, they've all had strong parents behind them, or a mentor or somebody investing time and energy in working backstage and those things. So I'll say it again: get in there, volunteer.
Yeah. Well, and
Yeah,
not even
absolutely.
just for that. Like if you're looking for a way to, sort of get into your kid's life, more than just being a parent, getting to know them as a human that they're growing into. Like this has been the perfect experience for that. For us, for both kids, even though Michaela's not a theater kid, she has loved teching and getting involved in that side so much, and now she's run sound, and
Yeah.
she really loves that.
Oh yeah,
She's really good.
She really
so,
crash course
loves
on that one.
Yeah.
Yeah, she was thrown into the fire there for Margarita.
Oh my gosh! And thank God for her. I mean, she did a
She was so
fantastic.
patient with it.
Yes.
She's autistic, so like I didn't know
Could
how
go
the
one way or the
stress of
other.
that would be, and she just she
Cool
was
as a cucumber.
champ.
Yeah.
She was.
All 6 of your kids. I mean, they're also different in so many ways, but
Yeah.
it's obvious that they have parents that are supporting them. And as a teacher, I look through a different lens, and so it's obvious to know when there are kids who have supportive parents and those who don't. I mean, my parents, my personal parents, didn't really support me in pursuing. They wanted me to have a good job, and they wanted me to make money, and all of that kind of stuff, which is still very important. But like I had a job offer to be assistant cruise director on Royal Caribbean Cruise Line.
Oh, how cool.
When I was working at the travel company, I went ahead and just applied for it and went to a recording studio, recorded myself.
Oh my gosh.
Singing.
That's pretty cool.
I feel
God
like
Bless
it's the
USA.
perfect job for
Yeah.
that. I mean,
Well,
other
I
than
thought
not
so,
what
too.
you're doing now is wonderful, but like
A retirement gig.
Our company would charter cruise ships and fill them with our passengers. So I went to Alaska that way. We did the inside passage in Alaska,
Oh,
and I
cool.
got to be with the cruise director, and he put me in the shows and everything like that on the cruise line. So then right after that, I went ahead and applied, and Royal Caribbean offered me a position. So I was trying to decide, and my parents were like, "No, you can't do that." And I said, "But I don't have to pay rent. I don't have to pay for a car. I don't
Yeah,
have to pay
you
for
get to
anything but my
travel.
underwear." Yeah.
Yeah.
And you never know who's going to see you on a cruise ship, and it could lead to
Right.
something else.
Yeah.
So I decided against it. I turned it down. The next month, I married my wife. I mean, I met my wife, not married her, met her. So I
Okay.
guess it was meant to be.
Yeah.
Right,
But it's kind of a
right.
joke in our family that if Tracy and I are having one of those, spousal disagreements,
Yes.
the kids will say, "You should go on the cruise, Dad. You should have gone. You should have gone on the cruise.
Your
You
boat
should have
sailed
gone."
without you.
Without me. So that's like a family joke with us that I should have gone on the cruise whenever that happens. But so it's great to see parents that are supporting kids, and of course Jordyn always reminds us that we didn't
Yeah.
put her in theater camp.
Yeah.
But look, she's still
She turned out just fine.
Yes.
yeah,
She's strong
Her journey
enough.
is exactly the way it's supposed to be.
Well, she's passionate about it.
Yes.
She is definitely.
Yes, yes.
She had and she
we love
had
Jordyn.
a professor that kind of tore her down.
Right.
Unfortunately, and luckily, when she went to get her master's in Oklahoma, she had
Barbara.
yes, she had Barbara that she named her wig after her in Beauty and the
Barbara.
Beast. Yes, she
That
had
was the
Barbara, who
It wasn't just Barbara. It was Barbara.
and Barbara totally reworked Jordyn. And gave her a confidence that had been stripped away, and developed her. The thing about Jordyn that she's all about performance, but what to me that I like the most is that she's about technique. She wants you to be healthy.
Correct.
She wants your
Yes.
voice to be healthy. She wants, if you're going to belt, she wants you to do a healthy belt. She wants you to breathe correctly. And those are when you talked earlier about things that she might have said to me. She'll say, "You need to get it in your nyeh, Dad. You need to get it in the front of your the front of your face." And until you've actually experienced when your teeth are vibrating that it's finally in the right place, you don't know what that means. So what I like is that she's not just there to put on a show, to direct kids in a show. She wants them to learn. She really is about the education process. And as my wife and I are both teachers, so that's cool to see her do that kind of role, but also to really focus on the health of your everything that's
Right.
connected, and especially with your voice. And when she hears people singing incorrectly, she's like, they're going to damage their vocal cords. And you hear about these singers that have to go on vocal rest or whatever because they're not doing it correctly. So she's also trying to put that in there too.
Well, and as horrible as her experience was at the one college we won't name, she's been able to use that to know what kids need. They don't need to be
Yeah.
torn apart. They need to
Exactly.
be built up.
Yeah,
So even at their
exactly.
worst moments, she finds a way to build them up.
Yep.
So I'm sorry she had to go through it, but
It was hard. That was hard as a
Yeah.
parent to see your child. I mean, she had such a good high school, going through that program there and doing those shows and everything, and then went
Having
to
all
that-
this self-esteem,
right,
right?
right, and then immediately within the first semester, at least in the first year that she was there, have that all torn apart.
Yeah.
And not given opportunities and then we would go see the shows to be supportive of her, and then see the people that were cast and like, wait a minute, and I know every parent thinks that, but we also knew the background about how she was being demoralized by this woman that never should be allowed to teach, but still is. And
Oh, geez.
so for her to overcome that and to decide,
Yeah.
number one, that she wasn't just done with it, it was still
Right.
a passion.
Right.
And to say, I want to get my master's in this. And we're thinking, Oklahoma? But you think about the people that have come from Oklahoma.
Yeah.
Carrie Underwood and Kristen Chenoweth, and Garth Brooks and Blake Shelton and Reba. You think about there's a lot of vocal talent out there in Oklahoma.
Yes.
But then she met
Good genes.
Barbara. And Barbara DeMaio, who was her voice teacher there, and she would we would talk to her when we would go out to Oklahoma, and she would say, I see so much potential in Jordyn. And to hear that, instead of what we had heard for 4 years at the other school, to hear her say that it's there, and to watch Jordyn change.
Yeah.
And I think, like you said, Angela, I think that when kids are faced with people who are not being as supportive or are trying to tear them down or not give them confidence, I think she knows exactly how they feel.
Yeah.
And so she wants to correct that.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then that comes back on the wheel to your question about being a parent. That makes you very, very proud that as adults they're trying to change lives too.
Yeah.
They are.
That you made
actively.
you made a good human.
Yeah, you did.
Yeah, you did.
The other one that we made,
Oh, no.
he's a good.
Chandler's fantastic.
Yeah,
we love him too.
He was in one show. We had to stick him in one show we needed to fill in. So he always talks about that was at Jenkins, and he was in 6th grade, I think. And then he just had a walk-on role.
Yeah.
And he's like, that was my moment. I should have won an award for that. All he did was walk on. But no, we had one in theater and we had one in athletics. And so we were either at the theater or we were on the soccer or football field. So
Yeah.
he's made his life in his direction too. So you just gotta you gotta. There's a lot of praying. There's a lot of hoping, and there's a lot of having a support community around. That whole takes a village is not a lie. It's not just BS. That is true. It does take a whole group of people who love your kids. And I've mentioned it to you guys separately and together. Thanks for loving my kid, and thanks for supporting her and being there for her while she's doing her job, because it means a lot to me as her parent. So anyway.
She means a lot to us.
Yes, she does.
Oh goodness. Yes, I'm getting
Could be anything.
emotional.
I'd be like,
Well,
how did our interview about Out of the Box get onto Jordyn talking about Jordyn?
I know, right? That's kind of weird. Yeah, it's the wheel. We got to kind of wrap it up because we do have a
gotta go.
thing.
Oh, gosh, that's right.
Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
I don't even know what time it is. Time flies, guys.
Oh, wow.
When we are talking about the stuff that we love.
I know. So next podcast, I don't know.
Will be a surprise for everyone.
Yes, it will.
Us
I have
included.
no plans yet, but I've got some things we could be.
Yes.
So,
The
yeah.
squirrel
Thanks
knows.
for coming.
The
Of
squirrel
course.
knows. I feel like a
thank
squirrel
you.
needs to be like our.
Our little mascot.
Yeah.
We need a
We
little
need a-
plushie.
Logo revamp again. Includes
Forget the
squirrel.
microphone.
Yeah.
Yeah, get rid of
We
the
need a
microphone.
squirrel.
Put in a squirrel.
Squirrel with a microphone.
Or with a microphone. There you
Oh, that would be perfect.
go. Yeah.
That would be perfect.
Oh, jeez.
Now, thank you guys for letting
Thank
me
you.
Thank you so
brag
much.
on,
Thank
on
you.
Yeah.
my kids, my students, my own personal kids too.
I
But my
have
students.
one quick question for
Yes.
you before we do wrap up. Where do you see yourself? What are you doing next creatively?
Retiring. Oh.
Silly.
On the cruise ship.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, I think
No,
you and
actually, we
Tracy
did
need
find
to do
out.
that.
Yeah, we did find out that we can retire soon. So I think just
Oh.
one more year in the classroom after this one. So
Oh, my
I mean, we'll have to do something else, but
Celebratory.
we can't do this anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love. I can't get
It's hard to be a
political, but
teacher.
I love what I teach. I love teaching the kids. It's all the other
Yeah.
stuff. It is
Yeah.
really, and it just gets worse. It's
Yeah.
gotten worse and worse and worse.
I think
and,
we kind of touched on that in our last.
Well,
you know,
it's hard
people
not
trying to get
because-
involved
know.
in your
Yeah.
curriculum and they have no business because they don't know what they're talking about. All that kind of stuff. It's just
Yeah.
it's just too hard.
Yeah.
So I just want to do something interesting for the
Yeah.
and then just retire. But
Okay.
you asked for me.
Yeah, like performing because Edwin Drude, right?
Yeah.
Those auditions are coming
hard
up
to-
Monday and Tuesday.
Actively be in teaching and
It
still
is.
be on the stage.
It
right?
is. It is hard, but I mean, I'm looking at the stage read, The Humans. I do love that play,
Okay.
so I'm looking at auditioning for that.
Okay.
When is that one in the year?
It's in the fall.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's in the fall. It's coming up. I think it's right. It's between Drude and what's after Drude?
Happy Elf,
Yeah,
I think.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's the in between.
before Fantastics. So I don't know. I was looking. Fantastics is a question mark.
Okay.
That is an old and Goldie one that has my interest. Just a real fast story. When
Yeah.
Chandler was at UCF, he had to take a summer class before he started, And so he said, I'm just going to take a fine arts class, and Dad and Jordyn can do it for me. Because it was like online and everything. But he did have to go see a performance at UCF. And he goes, oh my gosh, he comes in one night and he says, I have to go see this show. It's called The Fantastics. Because the way they spell Fantastics has
Yeah.
a K in it. You
Right.
know, so
Right.
she called it the Fantastic.
Fanta.
So Jordyn and I
Remember
about
the
fell out.
the
Yeah, Jordyn
orange
and I about
drinks.
fell out. You know,
love
with
some
him calling it
Fanta.
the Fantastic. So anytime that I see even the promotional information for the show coming up, I have to say Fantastics, not Fantastics.
Oh no, it's Fantastics.
Yeah.
On this
From now on.
From now on, it's
Yep.
Fantastics.
on this show.
So, but that's probably only gonna be it this season, just because
Okay.
there's so much going on.
Yeah.
That
Yeah.
probably will be it.
Well, that'll fill your plate, anyways.
Yep.
I mean, yeah. Well, we're
I'm
excited.
volunteering whenever I can.
Yeah.
Well, we love seeing
Well,
you at the
thank
theater.
you. Thank you.
Oh no, thank you guys.
Yeah,
thank you so much.
for being on.
I love listening to your
good
podcast
stuff.
when I'm driving to school at 6 in the morning. You know, it's always fun.
In parts, because they're
In
always
parts.
like over
Oh
an
yeah,
hour.
in parts.
Oh, yeah. We talk a
This
lot.
one's no exception to that.
Yeah, of course not.
No.
And
All
then-
right. Goodbye,
All
everybody.
right, guys. Have great Sundays. Keep
Catch
an
you on the
eye
next one.
on the weather.
Oh my
Yeah, and
God.
pray it away, please.
Yes.
I'm already stressed.
Yes. Bye, y'all.